Good morning and welcome to Coffee Walk. I am ready for my coffee today to get going. Delicious Blue Island coffee. So we're gonna hit on a bunch of CJs today. Some high performance stuff, some custom stuff. Of course, we've got one in the paint booth. A really rare TJ, which I'm gonna save till the end. I'm excited about. So grab your cup of joe and let's go. And I'm gonna try to drink my coffee today while I talk to you guys because I need it. I am not quite awake yet. One more for good luck. So we got our 1J Vintage Red Metallic Scrambler. It has really come along great. This is how it left the factory. We restored the wheels, put the correct tires on it, of course. Came with a white hardtop. Here's something that's really neat that I haven't hit on this Jeep, even though we talked about it a couple times. This is a factory automatic. The automatic transmission was an SPO, it was not an RPO, which meant special order only. RPO is regular production orders. So you wouldn't have shown up at the dealership and seen an automatic sitting on the lot. That would have been highly unlikely. They were almost all special ordered. The problem with that was the plant only made them twice a year because they had to change up the assembly line. So let's say they made the automatics that had been ordered prior 6 months in January and you came in and wanted to order one. You had to wait 6 months to get it. This is another reason why the data is tough to crunch on these CJs as far as time frame and builds, because when this Jeep was ordered, let's say it was ordered in January and they'd already built it, so they had to wait 6 months. This VIN was already punched, and this data tag on the firewall was already punched. It went into a folder. So if they were going to build them for 6 months, they had a file cabinet full of special order automatic CJs because they had to change the assembly line. They built them. So the date codes and VIN codes don't line up. You can't look at a sequential VIN on a CJ and say when it was built. Now this Jeep, when it left the factory, when they ordered it, which this is the original owner on this Jeep, he did not order power brakes and he did not order AC and wished he had. So we installed those two, and now we added fuel injection because you can start driving it again. So it's got new AC, power brakes, modern fuel injection. It's a sniper kit. He's gonna start driving. It's gonna be really awesome to see this thing on the street. Now next, let's see how we're doing on our Bordeaux Metallic Golden Eagle. Now we did paint the inside of this Jeep, which is great, but it's just a lot more work as far as the floors go. Most people have been choosing to do the spray liner. Now we do a much better job than the factory did. When these Jeeps were done at the factory, the roll bars were painted in the Jeep. We paint them out of the Jeep, and there was no paint on the floors. There wasn't even as much as primer underneath these bars most of the time, and that's why they tend to rust in these areas. And if you look at the firewall up in here in this area, they barely put any paint in this Jeeps. We go ahead and make the firewall on both sides look show quality. Now see what we're doing with the motor in this. We've got a built 304, which this is a factory V8 Golden Eagle, which in itself is rare and super desirable. Guy wanted a little bit more oomph, a little bit more power. These were low horsepower motors from the factory. They did have really good torque though. So we put an RV cam in it, Edelbrock intake, and a 4-barrel Holley Sniper set up. This thing's just gonna run great. This is really gonna be fun to drive. I can't wait to test drive it. Now over here, this guy wanted to go one step further. He said he wanted some serious power. And serious power to me in a Jeep CJ is 300 horsepower is enough. We think this is going to turn out to be about 350. So instead of using the 304, to get a little bit extra cubic inches, we went with the 360. We went with the Edelbrock aluminum heads, Edelbrock valve covers, Hedman headers. Now since this is a little bit more horsepower rated higher than the Holley kit is, we went with the Phytech injection. So we think there's going to be about 350 horsepower. We'll have both of these V8s running next week. We'll fire them and let you hear them after that. But this, what a cool Jeep. 4 inches of lift. Rock style bumper. So this is there's your OE style restoration, which I love. And this is your custom build to customer spec, which I also love. Gonna be a really cool Scrambler. This guy's also gonna use this to drive. Now I've got a really special CJ5 I want to show you guys in the paint booth. Just had a sip of that beautiful coffee. So in all of the thousands and thousands of CJs we've had here, I have never seen one of these. Kevin, who's been with me since day one, has never seen one. Whether it was wrecked in the wrecking yard, serviced, or restored, this is a really special Jeep. There's two things that give away whether a Jeep is a 76 or a 77 in the 76 to 86 range. If you walk up, it's got a round opening for your fuel, as opposed to the rectangular one. The fuel setup's totally different. And if you come up to the cowl, your cowl vent is actually inset and it's flush. Now, this has got a 77 tail panel, 77 fuel setup, and a 78 cowl. Now, we took good pictures of this Jeep before we took it apart. It's one owner, had never been painted, never been hit. It is bulletproof. It is a 77 VIN on the data tag, on the firewall, 77 on the sticker, on the dash. Unfortunately, we couldn't read the month and year because they're usually stamped on there, and 77 on the frame. So this is a 77 CJ5 with a 78 cal and a 78 heater set up, and everything in the dash is 78. So what I believe happened was he special ordered this Jeep because it is a G7 Alpine White Renegade with blue Levi's interior. It's gonna be stunning when it's done. And they must have run out of the CJ5 tubs and went on, since they probably had a 78 one there, and built it. So this is one I've never seen before. I'm gonna call it an interim Jeep. I took good pictures and good documentation of this Jeep before we tore it apart because Kevin and I had never seen one. So watch this one come along. The blue Levi's seats are just awesome. We finally found a stash of the actual original Levi's orange tags. So we have those now. We look forever and ever on those. Of course, we collect the Levi's buttons over the years, and we do have a pretty good sized bolt of the correct dark blue Levi's denim, and we'll do the orange stitching. They'll be done just like I left the factory. This is gonna be a stunning Jeep. But there you have it, a 77, what I'm gonna call interim CJ5 with a 78 tub, but it still has a 77 tail panel and a 77 fuel fill. Now I saved something unique for last. I've talked a couple times how I think the TJs and LJs are going to become collectible. They actually have, especially the rare ones. Let's go check one out. So as far as desirability and collectability on the TJ series, and the TJ Unlimited, which a lot of people refer to as the Unlimited, triple black is the one to have and consistently brings the most money. This is a triple black TJ. It's not the Unlimited LJ. Beautiful Jeep, one owner from new with 19,000 miles. Condition-wise, it's just outstanding. Now, the Rubicon was primarily built for the guy that was going to use it off-road. Fortunately, this one's never been used off-road. You got Dana 44s front and rear, four-wheel disc brakes, Moab wheels, Wrangler MTR tires. You had your rock ready transfer case, electric lockers front and rear, heavy duty skid plates. Just, some people still consider these as the ultimate Jeeps built. Whether you like the shorter version TJ or LJ Unlimited, they really are. Now, over the years, we show a lot of the reports from Marty on Ford products, Lincoln Mercury products, and if we have stuff that's available on Buicks from like Sloan Motor Company, Cadillac has some of the paperwork. Jeep does not have any paperwork for the CJs, we know that. We don't believe there's any for the YJs, but we're working on that, trying to get that put together. We have got all the TJ and LJ documents together, and we can actually put a report on these, which is awesome. And I've run some lately, and yes, this one is crazy rare. How rare? You guys guess. Whoever gets the first guess correct, we're gonna send you a t-shirt. I'll sign it if you want. If not, we'll just send you a t-shirt, just send us your size. But you guys guess on how many were built like this. So this is a triple black 2004 Rubicon, and it also has two tops. Now the window sticker on this Jeep in 2004 was $30,850. So a lot of people complain when we put these up for sale. I said, why is it so expensive? I said, they were always expensive. They were never cheap. Oh, and that reminds me of something I wanted to hit on. And this is also pretty awesome. Whoops. You gotta shut the gate first, that's how it seals. Look at that, even the hatch and all that stuff, the shocks are like new. So back to the Scrambler. When they went to the dealership and looking at Jeeps, and you had Scramblers and CJ7s there, the CJ7s way outsold the Scramblers, and here was the reason why. I actually sold a bunch of these back even in the 80s. They only had 2 seats. So if you had a wife and kids, you were pretty much out. You ended up buying the CJ7. One of the reasons these are so rare, from 81 to 85, they only made about 27,000 of them. But here's what else is interesting that a lot of people don't know. If you bought a loaded up Scrambler like this one, automatic power steering, power brakes, and AC, it was as much as a Corvette. So they were never cheap either. Scramblers have never been cheap, and they're never gonna be cheap, and they're only going up. I hope you guys have a great day. Please like, tag, share, and follow, and make sure you got a cup of Joe. And that's all I got.